What up, though? We here. It's Thursday, so y'all know what I do on Thursdays. I come here and we talk about The Masked Singer, and then I go on about my business, and so do you. And this video was left up here for y'all to come and tell me y'all opinions and what y'all thought about the episode and stuff like that. And if you did that, I will then address what you said, or you know what I'm saying, if you said anything that I thought was similar or that I could identify with or anything like that, then I'm gonna come in the next video and be like, what's up? Remember you had said that thing? Yeah. So no one's done that yet, but no one's done that yet, but that's okay because I'm still here making these videos. The season is still going and I'm still here to go with the season. So let's get it. Let's get it. Okay, yesterday was episode 5 of The Masked Singer season 5. This was another wild card episode, and I didn't realize until after I was done taking my notes and like about to write the description for this video that we already did a wild card with Group B. So I'm not sure exactly how many wild cards they expect to pull out on us. I mean, usually a deck of cards literally only has 2 jokers. However, depending on who you play with, sometimes they say the deuces are wild too. So we end up sometimes with 4 wild cards. So we'll see if that's the same case here. Because I did We'll figure it out. We'll see if that's the same case here. The Super 8 episode is coming up soon, and I don't think it's next week. I think it's the week after that. So that makes me believe that we possibly have one more wild card to expect. So, like I said, it did take me a minute to realize that this is the second episode of wild cards. Like, it was a back-to-back Group B. Last week it was Group B, and they got a wild card, which was the crab. And then this time, here we are, this week again doing Group B, and they also get another wild card. So that's a little bit weird. It's almost just kind of like, come on, play the game. So we started off with the Black Swan, and the Black Swan, she said that she was worried about her appearance. And this is her clue package, BT Dubs. She was worried about her appearance, so she used to send her audition tapes out with no face. There was a 10-10-10. You see kind of like scorecard 10-10-10, like 10s across the board type thing. There was like a pile of leaves. There was like a black cat who was scared. It was like giving Halloween vibes, which also makes me think 10, Libra, Halloween, because there was like a scale thing with the black and white swan in her previous clue package. So 10-10-10, the Libra scales thing, and the Halloween gives me totally that this person was born in October. Now, I do have a guess for who this might be, so I'm just about to double check and see if their birthday is in October, and that will low-key probably tell me everything I need to know. Let me find out this her last name. Literally never knew that was her last name, but let me find out this baby birthday. Okay, no, all right, her birthday is not in October, so it's not my guess, but okay, but she is 30, so 10-10-10. She could be 30. But the person, and she is Sagittarius. Come on, Sagittarius gang. I'll tell y'all who I think it is in a minute after we get through this. But there was a black cat. There was a Montana sign. Let me see if my girl is from Montana. Okay, no. Okay, no. There was a Montana sign. She took a leap of faith. In the package, she jumped out of a plane. It looked like a aircraft carrier. Like, it wasn't just like a plane. It looked like it was something from like the Avengers, and it like let down and you could jump out of it like that. Then when she jumped out of the plane, there was little like Valentine's Day hearts, and they had the word spot spelled out in each heart. And then there was like a digital looking, like, you know, old school digital, like Minecrafty type of dinosaur in the package right there as well. So rerunning through these and then thinking about who I think it is, maybe not, but I also don't know very much about this person personally, like in terms of like I don't follow them on social media. I'm just a fan of their voice. And so that's why I think it's who it is, but I ain't sure. So the song was How Will I Know by Whitney Houston. Now in there, Sister Girl was taking some risks and making some choices that I do know my guest to do. It was just the key maybe that was a little bit surprising to me, or maybe the power in which they were singing in that key. I don't know what it was to me, but it was almost like I know this person that I think it is capable of this, but is she out there doing this? I'm not sure. But then also it was kind of like, well, I mean, she never gets to be in a black swan costume and just play with all the things that her voice can do. Like one thing with singers, they like to try to the best thing about being a singer, like being a good singer and knowing really how to use your tools, is only using the tools that you have in your bag. And a lot of times artists, singers are encouraged to only do, you know what I'm saying, what their people know they can do. They aren't really encouraged to take risks with their voice. They like, we know you for this, you can do this well, only do that. That's what makes us the money. So a lot of times, like they do say on The Masked Singer, like, well, maybe because they're in the costume, and I kind of feel like that's the case for this person because their career was so it was not very like, it was big, but it wasn't long because of the troubles that they ran into with the business. So we really don't know what this person is fully capable of. So I wouldn't be shocked to find out if the Black Swan is JoJo. I would not be surprised to find that out. I would actually be very happy to know that my girl is in that Black Swan neck, snapping and acting a fool like that. I would be very, very happy to find that out. In the home invasion clue, I'm sorry, I call it a home invasion clue. Niecy says she bribed the men in black to go to the people's houses and steal something that will give us some information as to who they are. And so Ken said there's a lot of home invasion going on this season. So I've been calling it the home invasion clue. In her case, it was a unicorn. And she said it commemorates her best friend who passed away, who taught her to be herself and, always be herself and not, care what other people thought and stuff like that. Now, and she also said she was an amazing singer. Now, what someone who I thought of, a unicorn, there was a singer, and I'm so sorry that I don't know her name, and I don't want to go on Google and say the circumstances of how she passed away, and because that's just, I don't. But there was a singer who passed away. She was on American Idol, and she had made it a pretty good ways, and I believe she was killed, I believe, and I wouldn't be surprised to find out these two were friends. If she was a good singer, the young lady who passed away. So moving on, the judges made some guesses. I actually may have missed a guess because I only have two written down. But one, Jenny's guess was Emily Osment, who was the best friend on Hannah Montana. And then Robin guessed Victoria Justice, who is she was on Nickelodeon. I wish I should be able to share my screen with y'all, right? So we can see who this is. Okay. But yes. So we don't know for real. I think it's JoJo maybe because one, you can tell that the young lady is a white woman. However, one thing they don't you can tell she's a white young lady, but her voice is really, really, really good, and it's not too many of them out there that are known enough to be on The Masked Singer. I would literally be so shocked if it's anybody other than JoJo, to be honest. And I'm just learning all these new things about her in her clue package. Next up, we have the Piglet. Easy little piggy. So cute still. Clues are getting grilled. He said he was getting grilled a lot for a few years, and then in these shots you see a lay, which it could be like, they have pigs at Hawaiian cookouts. What is a Hawaiian cookout called? I know the word. Luau. I didn't really get a chance to look it all the way up. But a luau. Lay for the pig at a luau. Okay. Then there was a genie lamp. The pig rubbed the genie lamp. They're saying that the person who came along and saved their life made them a family man. Of course, in the clue package, they showed it like the person was a spider, like Charlotte's Web. Because, that story is basically about a pig falling in love with a spider. He was feeding the spider corn. So he says he's a family man. So this piglet has piglets of its own. There were 2 palm trees in the package as well. And then one of the men in black had on a blue ribbon, which is like a pig thing. If you were like a prize pig, is a blue ribbon thing. And then there was like a blue, it said 1DR. So it could have been One Direction, One Doctor. It could have been Wonder, so not really sure. And he sung a beautiful song that made Jenny cry. Is it called When I'm 64? No, I think this is a different song. I'm looking at no, this is not the lyrics. For some reason, I missed the title card for that song. I'm sorry, y'all. I'll be 20 years older or something like that. 20 years old is what he said. Let me see. I'll be 20 years old when life was lonely. Maybe Lucas Graham, 7 years. Yep, it was Lucas Graham. 7 years is the original name of the song. See, I will do my research for y'all. It's no problem. And the home invasion clue for the piglet were dog tags. There were 2 on one, and they said they commemorated the most important people in his life, the most important thing in his life. And then there were 2 dog tags, and then there was a charm for a letter P, and could be for piglet, could be for the other thing that's so wonderful that people love and can never get enough of. You know what it is. But the judges guessed and again sung the song beautifully. This person can sing. It's very very touching, very heartwarming. Of course, all the judges are giving us boy band clues, so we're just not sure what's going on here. One of them said it's Kevin from the Backstreet Boys. Another one, Ken actually said that it's Zayn, who is not married, he just had a baby with one of the Hadids. So who knows? Could be that. And AJ McClain is AJ in NSYNC? Backstreet Boys? Sorry, I get confused. Let me make sure, y'all. I'll make sure for y'all. Because I don't like to be incorrect when I have the tools to be correct. You know what I mean? AJ McClain was in the Backstreet Boys. Okay, yeah, no, he don't even look like he was in NSYNC now that I go back and look at the picture. But yeah, so 2 Backstreet Boys and a One Direction member they think this could be. And next up we get to, okay, so now we about to get into the part where I feel like I know what is really going on. Okay, I think I have cracked these last 2. Okay, well, these next 2, I think I'm there. Okay, one thing about me is I am Black, and I know Black people. I know a lot about Black people in terms of Black celebrities and Black entertainment and Black culture that interests me. Like, if I am interested in you and or your career, I'm going to find out as much as I can, healthily, because I want to be a talk show host and I want to interview people. So if I like you, I'm gonna be like, oh, let me find out everything I can about you. So when I talk to you, we can have a cool conversation. I've always been like this, and I have, like, ever since I saw What Love Got to Do with It, I've been preparing to meet Tina Turner, and so like that's just how, just so you know, that's how my mind works. So if it these next two people, I spoil it for you, I am sorry, but I have to give you all of my clues and my evidence as to why I think these two are the two people who I think they are. So I'm going to start with the first one. First up, we got the crab, okay? Now, if you watched last time, you know that I think that I'm pretty confident about who this is, but this week I am sure. One, because that voice, the voice cover up thing, the voice distortion is not doing it anymore for me. I can hear him and his Boston voice. I can hear it. I can hear you, okay? I can hear the cadence of his voice, all of it. Even with the voice distortion, I know exactly who it is. Same thing for the next person. Okay, so the clues are basically cooked in the kitchen with his mom growing up. There was a Big Ben poster. He said his mom was not teaching him the value. He said it wasn't as much of a punishment as it was her teaching him the value of family and how to take care of a household. Okay, so I'm like, okay, and this is a story that I'm pretty sure I have heard from this person, like through interviews and things like that. Excuse me. That's delicious. Based on interviews and stuff like that. So he's like, I got a song and I know they're gonna love this song. And the last time I thought it was him was because even in the costume, you can still see his body. And this is a person who was really, really known for his body and his his agility and his dance prowess. So it's so funny to see him now as an older man who has this belly and is like, you really made it to be an OG, and it's just beautiful because this is the type of person who has had a checkered past and a life that, you know, people just didn't think that they may survive, and he is still here and still sounding good and still, you know, it's great. And we really, really, really need to wrap our arms around this person more, in my opinion. And his home invasion clue was now he did the performance. Give it to him, baby. And he was doing his little steps. Because first of all, I know that costume is heavy. That's the first thing. I know that costume is heavy. I don't care what nobody say. It's not hollow. I know it's heavy. I know it's heavy. If you saw Cardi B at the Grammys and you was like, she is just not doing it, on top of it, already looking like a struggle, that that costume was heavy. So I understand why we wasn't getting full, like, you know, nothing going crazy like that, right? So the crab was like, hold on, I gotta get about this costume. I gotta get about this costume. Because after all of that, after the highest energy performance that you can give for being in all of that stuff, also being their age and also being this far away from their performance body than they usually are, I can understand why this person is like, oh no, I gotta breathe. Get me out of here. Like, I can understand that. I get that. Okay. So finally they come back out on stage and we like, okay, all right, let's do it. Let's hurry up. Let's get this thing done so my baby can go and get, you know, so he can get a little fan, a little shower, a little something. He hot. So, we get to the home invasion clue. The home invasion clue is a bowler hat. He says Sammy Davis Jr., the greatest entertainer that ever lived, always used to wear it. Now, if Sammy Davis Jr. being the greatest entertainer that ever lived to you, that means you have to be a certain age. Like, it's highly likely, I'll say that you're a certain age. You are old enough to have admired the Rat Pack, and anybody who was fairly newly born, like born after the person who I think this is, they would say somebody, the greatest entertainer that ever lived, they would say that it was somebody like Michael Jackson. Or, you know what I'm saying? This person is about the same age that Michael Jackson will be around this time. That's why they wouldn't, because Michael Jackson will tell you the greatest entertainer that ever lived was James Brown. A funny thing about history is that we learn it so so singularly that we rarely ever take a moment to examine what was going on at the same time. So depending on who you are, Sammy Davis Jr. could have been the greatest performer that ever lived, or James Brown. It was all kind of happening in similar time, like, you know what I'm saying, in a close time range. You know what I mean? So, and then think about it. Who would think that Sammy Davis, not who, but think about the performance styles of the people that you know, and who would think that Sammy Davis Jr. is one of the greatest performers that ever lived. Now, this person, personally, I haven't seen too much Sammy Davis Jr. performance because I am one of those people who is young enough to be like, no, Beyonce is the greatest performer that ever lived, but also knowing that Michael Joseph Jackson is the reason why Beyonce is who she is. And like, I know Michael Jackson is this, but I'm just saying I'm young enough to be like, oh no, it's Beyonce. But I'm old enough to know that it's Michael Joseph. So, but yeah, I'm not really sure about the Sammy Davis Jr., the performer. I just know of him. So, yeah, but this person I've also seen wearing this hat, and he says Sammy Davis Jr., the greatest performer ever lived, wore these a lot, so I tried to wear them as much as I could. As soon as I saw that hat, I saw it on the person who I think this is. But the guesses, Jenny was like, I thought it was such and such. But then when Robin said it was Bobby Brown last week, I was like, yeah, Bobby Brown, that makes sense. And then Robin Thicke goes, yeah, but if you're Bobby Brown, you're gonna be doing more than that. Excuse me. Did you not just see this man do everything he could and almost die? It almost died. That was rude. So, they kind of shot the Bobby Brown idea down, and because it was Ken who said it was Bobby Brown last week, and people was like, hey, nah, Ken be stupid, but he knows something this time. And in the clue package, and he was like, I did think it was Bobby Brown again this time because I saw the macaroni, and Bobby Brown has a song called Roni. Didn't think about it. Didn't even think about the macaroni for a second. But of course it's Bobby Brown. Of course it is. Bobby Brown is the person who I thought it was. But the macaroni Roni thing, they laughed at him about it. But that made sense to me. I'm with Ken on this one. And so let me go through the guests. They said it was Bobby Brown. He said, but the voice this week was like, I don't know. I don't think that's Bobby Brown. I think that's one of the dudes from Boyz II Men. Somebody just help me pick one. First of all, that's racist. Second of all, no. And then, and also Martin Lawrence. One of them said it was Martin Lawrence because he's got a bowling alley in his house and he loves to bowl. And yeah. And I just want to know, when has anyone ever heard Martin Lawrence sing like this person sang last week? Has Martin Lawrence ever made you cry from singing? Laughing? Absolutely. But that's not Martin. Then she was like, oh no, that wasn't even for this, because that was about to make me so mad. Okay, let me hurry up and get this over. Not get this over with, but I don't want to waste too much of y'all time. So, I think it's Bobby Brown, and also, like I said, I think that was so offensive to be like. I mean, but if you were Bobby Brown and you were doing that song, you would be like, and it's just like, what would you do if you was Robin Thicke singing that song? Oh, okay. So, but next up we have the Chameleon, and last week, and I think the other week, I was just like, okay, Chameleon, like. There was the clues about embracing his uniqueness, and somebody had passed away that he loved that was unique, and I still can't. For the person who I think this is, I believe they did lose a sister. Let me look. Yep. It's exactly who I think it is. And it was another one of those moments where the voice distortion was failing them based on the rhythm of this person's voice. Some of them, they might have to start speeding them up or something, because you could tell as soon as I was listening to it, and then I started getting into I started getting comfortable with hearing the voice, and I was like, oh no, this is not who I think it is. Then he got to talking about martial arts and how that transformed his life, and how he was doing it for his little chameleon. And then this is where they really messed up in the clue package. I can't remember if he said baby Cam or little Cam. And when he said Cam, I was like, it's Wiz. I'm like, it's Wiz. I'm like, that's crazy. So they put the P. But yeah, so he's like, I think it's Wiz Khalifa. And he's like, but Wiz Khalifa is not from New York. He's not from Houston, because 346 is the Houston area code. But also, like, it is weird that those 5 clocks said 346. I'm sorry, I don't even know if I went through his whole clue package, because I was so excited to tell y'all that I knew it was Wiz. There were 5 clocks. They had 346 on them. He did say he wanted to be a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle when he was younger, and that he was doing all this for his little chameleon. And so many of these big celebrities be like, my kids love this show, so I'm just on here to see them laugh and smile. And Sebastian, me also being a Sebastian stan, that's funny. But yes, I love Sebastian, him and his extensive vocabulary and his sweet little soul. I can tell this is something that he would like for sure, because his son is obsessed with Halloween and costuming and things like that. So Nicole thinks that it's Waka Flocka, who is from New York, which I thought Waka Flocka was from Atlanta the whole time until she said that. And then I remember what his mom sounds like. Deb is definitely from New York. And Waka is too, because Waka don't even sound country like a George, like a person from Atlanta. Like, he don't talk like Quavo. You know what I'm saying? Like, Quavo sound like he from Atlanta. Waka Flocka definitely sound like he from New York. And I never ever even thought about it, because as long as he's been out, he's been a Georgia rapper. But them being from New York makes sense, because when Nicki moved to Georgia to be a rapper, of course, she linked up with Deb, was her manager. So, of course, Deb is from New York. And Waka, of course, because that's his mama. And then the other option was MGK, and they just threw him in there. I don't know. I feel like they just got a little bit tired of guessing Black people at that point, or they just didn't have no other option because they said 2 Chainz last week. I don't know. But then we get a Clue-Doo. We get a Clue-Doo interruption here. And it was like a little package of Nicole trying to find the chameleon backstage, and he's like, well, you won't find him here, because this isn't the only studio he frequents. Of course it's not, because his name is Wiz Khalifa. Okay, that's why. And then we had our last wild card, which is odd. I don't think the wild cards have been going last. Okay, we did have our last wild card. First thing out my mouth was, this is the weakest costume in the bunch. They have never ever just stuff somebody clothes and then put a helmet on them. and gave them some paws. And then put a little fuzzy butt on it. Put a little fuzzy tail on the butt. They have always done more. So it is a little bit irritating. It was irritating to me. I understand why they did it, but it was irritating. Y'all could have just took it there if y'all was gonna go there. The clues, there was a TV clapper situation, there was dance battles, and there was a bowl that says super on it. There was a bunch of old TVs. Apparently there was a GT in there, but I missed that part. Maybe I wasn't paying attention enough. I'm sorry. And he performed Candy Girl. The Bulldog did. And the home invasion clue was a cue card for Saturday Night Live. It said live from New York is Saturday night, and it was in a frame. And so immediately the judges get to guessing, and Ken says it's Andy Samberg. One of them says Chris Tucker. The other one says Chris Rock. Now, I'm going to let you know that I was just I was like, okay, come on, performance. Candy girl. But I was not here for this costume. I was very, very underwhelmed. So I was just kind of like, why are we doing this? And sorry, I have different notes on that page. Excuse me. But we finally get to the end, and Niecy was like, we switching it up again. I get to decide who goes home because I already know who is in at least one of these masks. She didn't say that, but obviously that's why she did this. And the judges have submitted their first impression guesses, even for the new wild card. That definitely happened. However, we did not go over those because since Niecy got to pick and nobody's vote counted, and the person gets to take the mask off when we find out it's Nick Cannon just here to come back for his job. We were enjoying Niecy just fine. But it's okay. I understand. Come back and get your check. You was sick. So, yeah. That's how I felt. I wasn't like, oh, it's Nick Cannon. I was just like, this is a cute way to come back and get your job. Can Niecy be the guest judge on a panel or something? Because what is this? Why we do this? Why don't we do this? I mean, I get it, but I'm ready to see some of these bigger masks come off. I am ready to be like, oh, like the only time thus far that I have been like, yeah, it was Danny Trejo. So if you can bring me back to that Masked Singer, I mean, these have been some pretty underwhelming unmaskings. That means the rest of these unmaskings have to be like, like blow my motherfucking mind. Oh, wow. I'm sorry. That's how you could tell I was like, I don't like these. And I'm sorry to cuss. But I want to be wild. Masked Singer, change the game. For real. Instead of changing up the format of the show. And I just want good things. I deserve nice things. The people who still watch this show after 5 seasons, we deserve nice things. Whoever is unmasked next better be somebody that I'm like, dang, I can't believe they would ever do something like this. And also, just these 2 black people that I guessed, they bet not be the next people to go home. I tell you that. Even though I would love to have them unmasked so that I can be right. They better not go home next week. I know that. Thank y'all so much for coming. I always tell y'all to find me on Instagram at I'm Wawa, same as the YouTube channel. I should probably just start putting it in the description. Maybe I will next week. Or it's actually just as it appears here. You see that? Boom. I'm Wawa. You can find me on Instagram, on Twitter, just like that. I'm Wawa. How that is like that. I'm Wawa. You can find me on Twitter, Instagram. We can talk about this. Y'all can actually just comment here. I'll come back and talk to you here. And I'll be back next week with another one. Thursday at about 1:00. Thanks so much for watching. I love you guys. Bye. I hope they do better for us next week. Yes, because I want better. We